Hi again, it's Jason from Fraser Valley Rose Farm, and today I want to make a short video to answer the question, is there a shortage of roses? And I hope you don't expect that as a supplier of roses myself, that I would try to spike demand by nurturing this rumor. The answer in my mind is a qualified no, but I do want to address the reasons why people might think that. Even as a supplier of roses, when I've gone to my rose distributors, my bare root rose distributors, and asked to make my orders this year, they cut down my orders by about 30-35% for the two suppliers I already had. I went to a third one trying to find some supplies, and they shut me down straight away, saying they're just going to focus on their existing customers. They don't have enough to go around. When Palatine Roses opened their site yesterday for pre-orders, it crashed under the weight of customer demand. And so it might sound like I'm saying there's a shortage of roses, but I do have to just draw a couple of distinctions here. First of all is that there is a distinction between bare root roses and own root roses. And the market used to be dominated by bare root roses, like 90-95% bare root roses. In recent years, it's come up to be a far more even game between bare root and own root roses, and the own root roses have a different production cycle. So while the bare root roses take about a year, maybe sometimes up to 2 years, they have to get the stalk planted in the ground, they have to graft it, then they have to grow it and dig it out from the ground. That's a longer process, and they're not able to quickly adjust to changes in demand from the public, whereas the own root suppliers actually can. You can get a cutting in spring and maybe even finish it within a few months to a finished size. So there is some ability to react there on the own root side. And when I say own root, I'm not talking about, knockouts or similarly shrubby or landscapey type roses. I'm talking the Cordes roses are mostly produced own root. There's a whole bunch of, there's the True Bloom roses out of Altman plants. There's a whole bunch of great own root roses that are on the market, not to mention all of the smaller suppliers. And the same day that Palatine crashed, I went on to the Rogue Valley Roses website and I ordered like 15 roses, don't tell Lisa. And so the point here is the shortage certainly is not across all categories. But to talk about the reason for the shortage here, and I'm gonna maybe get rid of the word shortage and just say a spike in demand. There's been because of COVID, because many people have been stuck at home, all gardening categories saw a spike in their demand for plants. Some plants, like veggie starts, were very easy to respond to. They come from seed and they grow very quickly, so the industry was very quickly able to absorb that. But for longer growing plants like roses, which also saw a really good spike, happy to see it, those ones, because they're bare root, on the bare root side of things, take so much longer to produce. The producers aren't able to whip up their supply to match the demand. Now, is this good news or bad news for roses? I would say in a qualified way that this is very good news for roses. The fact that rose demand increased with the rest of the market. I would even venture to say, and now I'm venturing into territory that is just hopefully optimistic on my part, that the demand for roses overall is in an upswing, that the influencers and the communities around the building of demand for roses are stronger now. I certainly see that in the people that I know. The people I mentioned last year in the rose influencer video have a lot of sway over groups of roses, so, or rosarians, I would say. So overall, this is actually positive news. The bare root suppliers will catch up. That's a no-brainer. They have a financial interest in catching up with the demand. It might take them a couple of years to work through any kind of pent-up consumer demand for the big bare root roses. But in the meantime, the own root rose suppliers, like me and many others, have the ability to whip up their supply much faster, which I have done and many of the other ones have done as well. So I would say, first of all, don't worry. There's lots of roses on the way. Second of all, be patient. These bare root suppliers are working through slower supply and heightened demand. They'll get through it. And third of all, this is overall good news for roses. The fact that our hobby is seeing an upswing means better opportunities for everybody and stronger suppliers over a length of time. So that's all good news. All right, thanks so much for watching. Hope this was a quick one that you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, please drop that below the video.